Hi beauties, Rosy here from rosypeña.com, a sewing and style vlog. Today I'm here with a super fun video on the Seamstress tag. Holly from Holly Sews here on YouTube started a tag and I thought it was a great idea, and I hope we have more of these in the YouTube community. Okay, so this is my first video, so please excuse the lighting or the angles or the sound, anything like that. Sorry. So the first question on the tag is, who are you? My name is Rosalinda. Everybody calls me Rosy. My blog is Rosy Peña. It's all about sewing and style. I started sewing about going on 3 years ago, and I've been hooked ever since. My grandmother sews. My mother used to sew. She doesn't really sew that much anymore. I have 2 daughters, an 11-year-old and a 3-year-old. She actually just turned 3 yesterday. So whenever I'm not sewing, I am with my children. So the next question is, when and why did you start sewing? I kind of already answered this a little bit in my first answer. I started sewing 2 years ago, like I said, and really I started because I needed an escape, to be honest. I needed something to keep my mind busy from everything else that was going on in my life. I had just split up with my daughter's dad, and soon after that my dad had some health issues going on, and basically just life happened and I needed something to keep me busy, and I turned to sewing. I kind of always knew that I wanted to learn how to sew, but I always thought it was something that was completely out of reach, that I don't know, it just didn't seem like something I could do, but I decided to do it anyway. So I literally just went to Walmart and I bought a $60 or $70 sewing machine, and I sat down and I tried to teach myself. I didn't even look on YouTube yet or books or anything like that. I just jumped right in using the manual from the sewing machine, and a little bit after that I realized, okay, you need help, and I started looking on Pinterest, on YouTube, and that really helped a lot. So yeah, I started sewing because it was something I needed to do. I needed to keep my mind busy, and I'm so glad that I did. The next question is, what is your proudest or your most favorite make? This usually always my most recent make. This blouse that I'm wearing right now, I sewed it. I finished it today. This is the Pussy Bow blouse from Sew Over It. I love her YouTube. If you haven't checked it out, I'll put it down below in the description bar. But my proudest make besides that is probably one that I posted to the blog. I think it was probably my 3rd or 4th post, and it was a Vogue dress. I have it right here. Vogue 9075. I did this view here, the dress. You probably can't see that well. I'm not even going to torture you with it, but I'll link it in the description bar. And the reason why it's my most favorite make is because it was shared by the McCall's company on Facebook. They shared it, and when I realized that they did that, I was so excited because I thought, you know, they're such a big brand, they're such a big company. I didn't think they had any, I didn't think I was in their radar at all as far as seeing what I was sewing and making. So I would say that's probably my most favorite and proudest make, is the Vogue. And again, I'll link it in the description bar if you're interested in checking it out. Okay, so the next question is your most disastrous make. And I have had so many disastrous makes, too many to count, and they always end up in the trash. So I haven't really had any like that recently, but when I first started sewing, there was so many things that I would make and sew, and it would just be horrible. So the very first thing I ever tried to sew was a little girl dress for my daughter. It was horrible. I had sewn the wrong sides together. I literally had no idea what I was doing, none whatsoever. So that was probably my most disastrous make, but again, I've had so many things. Favorite place to go shopping for fabric, and I have a Hobby Lobby that's close to me and a Joann's fabric that is kind of close to me. I usually shop online for my fabrics. Moo.com obviously is a great one. They're kind of expensive, but every now and again I'll treat myself to some Moo.com fabric. Other than that, fabric.com is great. I've ordered from Girl Charlie before. They're pretty good for knits, inexpensive knits. Lowpricefabric.com, Michael Levine, I don't know if you're familiar with that. They're pretty good also. Where else have I ordered from? Ooh, Fabric Mart. Fabric Mart's pretty good. I used to order from them a lot in the beginning because they have sales that will go on every so often. Really great sales, especially on knits. I've noticed they have a lot of sales on knits. and I love sewing with knits. Question is, what is your most used pattern? I don't usually sew things over and over again. Whenever I sew something, I like to move right on to the next thing. I'm always trying to learn and expand. My sewing time is usually very precious. With 2 children around, I'm a single mom of 2 children. Any sewing time that I get is precious, and I don't want to keep sewing the same thing over and over again because I like to expand my knowledge and I love learning construction. So I usually move on pretty quick. One that I do really love is this closet case patterns, the netty bodysuit. Again, you probably can't see that really well and I'm sorry, but I will link it below. It's a bodysuit. I've done a hack on the blog for turning it into a dress, a flared out dress. You might have seen it. I'll link that blog post also, but this is something that I would consider a capsule wardrobe piece. You can keep it in your closet for a long time and use it in many different ways, not just, you know, the same look over and over again. You can style it in so many different ways, and that's what I love about this pattern. That's what I love about most patterns. I usually go for things that are a little bit more simple. So yeah, closet case patterns, the netty bodysuit, and I will link it down below. What is your most dreaded sewing task? And I would have to say using my seam ripper. I've seen a few seamstress tags already and a lot of people have said that, using the seam ripper, but it really is my most dreaded task. It means you made a mistake and you have to pick out your seams with your seam ripper. It's not very fun to do. Your most favorite sewing task, and honestly I have so many. Just sewing in general is so precious to me, but my favorite task of it, I would say, strangely enough, pinning. I love pinning things together, pinning the clothes together. Another thing I would say is actually, it doesn't really have to do with sewing, but I guess prep for sewing. I love cutting out patterns. It's kind of just a mindless thing that I could do, and it really is a big stress reliever for me. Some people like to run, some people like to do things, you know, exercise or bake. I like to cut patterns. It seems so weird and I know it does, but I love cutting patterns and pinning. So I guess I'm a little weird when it comes to sewing, but those are the things that I love most about sewing. So the next question is, what is your favorite sewing entertainment? And what Holly meant by this is, what do you like to do when you sew? Do you like to watch videos, listen to music, or what do you like to do when you're sewing? I don't like to hear background noise when I'm sewing. I love hearing the machine. I don't like to listen to music when I'm sewing. I like to just be in the moment and sew. Every now and again, if it's, you know, a very simple thing that I'm sewing, I will put on YouTube and just watch makeup videos. I really love makeup videos. I just recently got into seamstress videos, which is really great now. So yeah, every now and again I'll turn on YouTube whenever I'm sewing and listen to that as my background noise while I'm pinning or sewing or unpicking, whatever I'm doing. I'll have YouTube playing in the background. The next question is, printed or PDF? Do you like printed patterns or PDF patterns? And printed patterns are great because, like I said, I like cutting patterns, so it's a big stress reliever. I don't like so much PDF patterns. The one thing I do like about them is that you can print out multiple sizes. So whenever you've cut a pattern out, you've cut your size out and that's it. You can't make another one for somebody else a different size than you. But whenever you order a PDF pattern, you know, it's instant. You can print it out and you can print out multiple sizes. Granted, it does take a while to do that, but it is worth it. And usually PDF patterns are a little bit cheaper, so that's a plus also. If I had to choose one, I would definitely pick printed. So the next question is, what machine do you use? And the background of my video here is actually the machines that I have. This is my second machine that I've purchased. Like I said, the first one I bought was from Walmart. It was about $75, so I upgraded to this one. And I really love it. This is the Project Runway Limited Edition PC 420. And I will link I don't know if I'll link it all in the description bar or just have a full blog post with everything that I talked about in the video. And then I also have a serger, 1034D, and I will link that in the blog post also. Both great machines. I really like them. They're both fairly inexpensive. This sewing machine was a little bit more than the serger. The last question of this sewing tag video is, do you have any other hobbies? And actually I do not. Sewing is basically my love now. Before that I was just focusing full time on being a mother. So now I've kind of squeezed in sewing into my motherhood. So if I'm not sewing, I'm spending time with my children. My oldest is in soccer. My youngest keeps me busy all on her own. I do really love makeup and things like that, but sewing is pretty much where it's at for me. So I wanted to keep this video pretty short for you all. I know sometimes videos can be 30 minutes long and it's hard to get through them. Just real quick, if anybody wants to see the shirt that I made, again, it was a Sew Over It pussy bow blouse. I'm just going to try to stand up and show you guys the shirt. I actually hacked it into a dress. I didn't use the sleeves. I'm sorry you can't really see that, but this is the main cuteness, I guess, of this shirt is the pussy bow, which I love. I'm gonna have a blog post on this outfit soon, so be sure to check that out, see how I styled it. Like this video and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. So that is it for this video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a little bit more about me, and I would love to learn a little bit more about you. So if you're a blogger or a vlogger, please keep this sewing tag video going. Time to do more videos, so please subscribe and follow my blog, rosypeña.com, rosypena.com. That's where you can find me at. Also on Instagram at Rosy Peña, and on Facebook at Rosy Peña Blog, and I'm also on Twitter at Rosy Peña Blog. You guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!